Hello guys, and welcome back again to Luci's Miriano Cut and Sew Seamstress YouTube channel. So in today's tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you guys how to take accurate body measurements. And this mannequin here is going to serve as my model. She's going to be my model for this. So her name is Zina. So Zina, say hi, say hello to our subscribers. Hello! Today saying hi to you guys. Okay, so without wasting much of our time, let's begin. I placed this mannequin like this, making sure that the back is actually facing the mirror. The mirror is actually facing the back, so that you guys are going to see what the back of this looks like. The back of this, when I place the tape, you're going to be able to see the back through the mirror there. The first measurement I'd like to start with is the bust measurement. Now your bust measurement is the measurement that goes, now watch me, your tape rule goes all the way round like this, like so, through your circumference. Just the measurement that goes all the way round, your bust measurement, it goes all the way round, passing the nipple point. It's going to touch the nipple point, which is the largest part of the bust. So look at what the back looks like. So you're making sure that this goes I'm making sure that I bring this upwards and I'm letting it align. Do you see what I'm doing there? Okay, so this is your bust now. Now let me bring this. When you're one thing that's very important anytime you're taking your measurement is to make sure that you're not standing in front of your client. Very wrong. So that you don't go and start breathing in and out of your client. What you need to do is stand by the side of your client. You know, it's possible that maybe if you want to actually take the measurement, you could actually move a little bit, you know, to enable you be able to place the tape and everything. But the moment you're done doing that, just move over to the side. That's the best way to stand, just like you see me doing, and take the measurement. And make sure you're not bringing your measurement to the front like this, because it's not every client that wants you touching their boobs, their body and all. So make sure it's on the side when, even if you're moving your hands and everything, you are not touching the sensitive part of your client. Okay, so this is for the bust here, and this is what I've done. I've taken it. So let me bring this to the front so that you guys can see what I'm doing. Now when you're taking this, make sure your index finger, okay, your index finger is underneath the tape. Okay, so that gives your client some form of ease. Yes, they want it fitted, but nobody wants to kill themselves because they actually want to wear clothes. So that's the first measurement. And the next measurement, I'm going to go with the circumference measurement first. This bust measurement, this is a circumference, it goes round. So next I'm going to be measuring under the bust here. This is also a circumference measurement. See the way I'm standing by the side of my client. Zina is my client at this point. So I'm taking the under bust circumference measurement. Take notes, guys. If you need to get a note for this, you do. Under bust circumference measurement. And your under bust circumference measurement is that measurement that goes round directly under your breast. I hope we are following. So the next measurement now will be the measurement of your waist. And now Zina doesn't have a navel, but I presume that where we have a joint is where her waist is, like that's where her navel point is. Your through waist line, your through waist is where your navel is. So that's the point you're going to be measuring. Like you see me doing. If you look at the back, you'll see the way I'm placing it. When I place it, I'll use my hand to actually align it very well. Do you see what I'm doing? So I've measured for the waist. Now next measurement for your circumference is the measurement of your hip. Now for you to do this, you have to, let me move her hands a little bit at the back so that I can actually, you know, let me take her hands off so that I can do this better. All right, so now for your hip, you are going to actually, with your eyes, visualize where you have the largest part, that protruding part, you know, that part that comes out like this, that largest part. So that's what you're using actually for this. So this is what I'm doing here. Watch me, even on the back. Okay, so I've gotten the largest part of Zina's hip measurement, and I'm also making sure that I am looking at the back and allowing the tape to be placed on the largest part of her bum bum also. I'm not letting the tape, you know, come down this way. I don't know if you understand what I'm doing. This is not what I'm doing. See, this is not what I'm doing because this is not it. Because if you check here, I have 42, but by the time you need to bring it to the actual point, okay? Largest part at the back and the largest part on the side, where you have that, you know, that protruding, this thing, curve, obvious curves on the side. So now I've gotten Zina's hip measurements. Now next thing I want to do to make sure that when my client wears a coat, it's not too tight on her, especially on the hip, you know, they need to sit down. So what you're going to do, hold firm on that place like I'm doing, like you see me doing, hold firm and then pull down. So be sure that, you know, the measurement that you actually have measured can pull down and also pull up. All right. So if it's not able to do it, then know that it's going to be too tight on them and you can just readjust a little bit. All right. So I think I'm done taking the circumference measurement. So next thing I'm going to do now is to now take the measurement, my vertical measurements that are coming this way. Or okay, so next I'm going to be taking my bust point from this. Let me use this one. So from here, you know, if you look at the shoulder, you're going to see that very point where it feels like the back shoulder is joining the front shoulder, or the front shoulder is joining the back shoulder, where it feels like the back and the front shoulder meet each other. So place your tape on that side. Now don't place around this side because you're going to be losing measurements. Bring it very close to your neck, and then you're going to be taking from there to get the bust point of your client. And then for Zina, the bust point I have here is 10 inches. Now you are not going to start pressing your client. Don't even try. Don't do that. Somebody, they will give you a slap. You're going to actually visualize it. You're going to think it. I mean, you see the human figure a lot of times, so just think it in your head and just imagine it. Okay, then it should be here. You measure it. But if that's going to be hard for you, you can actually ask the client to help you, you know, touch that point. But don't do it yourself. No, please don't. Now, once you've gotten that, you just, you know, you measure it like I've done like this. Now, one other thing I need to make you understand is that anytime you are taking a client's measurement, first of all, you need to make sure that your client is actually wearing a firm bra. It doesn't have to have too much foam, you know, just something firm that can, you know, carry their boobs and lift it so that it is firm and okay. If you don't do it like that, you will take measurements. By the time you are done sewing and they go and wear their bra, then you realize that your measurement is not even complete. Okay, so this helps you get it accurately. Now again, make sure that your client is not wearing a bogus clothes. Please don't take measurements with something like this that I'm wearing. Don't do that. This is too big. Let them wear a bodycon gown, something like this. You see what Zina is wearing, like a tight. Okay, let them wear a bodycon gown. They could wear a jean, they could wear leggings, or you know, the bodycon kind of gown that has this kind of, you know, stretch lycra kind of fabric. So this helps you take and get your measurements accurately. So I had to check at this point to be sure that this is still filming because I don't want to hear any stories. So we've gone over with the bust point measurement. So next measurement I'm going to be taking now is the measurement from here to under my bust. So for Zina, do you see where I'm placing my tape? Very close to the neck. Then I will make sure when I'm taking any vertical measurement, like vertical measurements like this. I mean, is it horizontal or vertical? Whatever, but measurements that are going this way. So I'm making sure that the measurement must pass my nipple point, because the nipple point, like I said, is the largest part of your breast. So I'm making sure. So don't do this. You will lose measurements. Now let's do an experiment. This is here. By the time I measured Zina, I had 14 and a half as an under bust. The measurement we're taking after we did the bust point, we're taking the under bust. Your under bust measurement is the measurement from your shoulder to under, directly under, ending directly under your bust. Your bust point measurement is that measurement from your shoulder and directly on your nipple point, okay, coming straight down. Then for the under bust, it is directly under your breast. So now for this, let's do an experiment. I had 14 and a half, but if you're moving it this way, see what I have 13 and a half. You've lost 1 inch. If you're moving it the other way, I have 13. Okay, you have lost like 1.5 or so. So make sure it is going across this nipple point. Then I have 14 and a half. That's when you're sure you've gotten it right. Then after you've done that, next measurement will be you taking the half length. Now, what I usually do for my half length is I ask, that's why I said they should wear a body guard. You might not see it clearly here. I usually ask the client to bend over like this, like you see me doing. Now put your hands here. You're going to feel, see what I'm doing, where the hip bone ends and this other one starts, the upper rib bone starts. So when you press this way, you're going to just get it. So what I do once I'm done, once I get it, I try to place my hands there and I quickly use maybe an elastic and I'll tie it round on the client. I had to go get something to actually tie Zina's waist, since I found out where her half length is. So just like I told you, get something and just tie. It could be an elastic or any rope, you know. So once I was done doing that, see, look at what I did. Make sure, if it means you going round, make sure that all of this is actually straight and on the same line. It is very, very necessary so that you don't go and start making mistakes. Do you see the way it is? You have seen that it's actually on the same line. So next thing you're going to do, you're going to be measuring from the same point here, making sure that your half length goes across. I hope you're seeing what I'm doing. It goes across your under bust here. Now hold with your hands and continue. Do you see what? Don't do this. Please don't do this. When I did this, I lost like 0.25. Make sure it goes this way. Hold down and then you continue. And for Zina, I had 18 inches for the front half length. You see what I'm doing? I had 18 inches for her front half length. Now, once I was done doing that, I'm going to go ahead also now to measure her back half length. Her back half length, from the point I told you where it feels like the front and the back shoulder meet. Okay, I believe you guys can see me. Now, the reason you need to tie this is because if you don't tie it, you might not be able to know the difference between the front and the back half length. But if you go ahead and tie this, okay, it helps you indicate the front and half length and back half length easier. And the front half length is usually longer because of the existence of the bust. So the more bust a person has, the more there's a tendency of the person's back half length being shorter. So for Zina here, the front we had 18 for the half length, front half length, and for the back doing the same thing. Do you see? You see where I placed my tape. I hope you guys can see me well. Then from there I measured up to this point, making sure my hands are going. So I have 15. So for Zina here, the difference between her front half length and her back half length is actually 3 inches. Make sure you note it down because this helps, especially when you're making dresses that have a half cut. It helps, and these are the things that help you reduce in all those zipper bulge at the back that you've been trying to eliminate. These are the things that help you eliminate them. So now Zina's own is a difference of 3 inches. For some persons you can have 2.5, for some persons 2 inches, you know, for some persons 1 inch, and the list go on. It depends on the clients that you're working with. So now the next thing I'm going to be doing now is I am going to be measuring the length maybe of her blouse, assuming I was making a blouse. Like I told you guys, making sure it passes this way. Hold on to that place and you continue what you're doing. Now for the length of this blouse, this is totally dependent on you. For Zina, if I wanted to make her a blouse, I'm going to be using 24 here. Okay, now if it was a gown, I'll still hold on to that point and then I'll continue going all the way until I get to the down, like until I get down, okay, up to the, maybe if it's an ankle length gown, just or 3/4 length gown or flowing gown, until I get to whatever it is I want. All right, so that's how to go about it. So next thing I'm going to do now is, I think this is about it for this other side. So next, a very important measurement is the shoulder measurement. Now, how do you achieve the shoulder measurement? From the very, see, the shoulder measurement, you see, when you see I'm not wearing a sleeveless, let me show you guys. I like to be very practical. How you know your shoulder measurement? When I want to take the shoulder measurement for my client, I don't ask them to do this, so please. But I will use my hand, okay, from the back. And I will trace the distance, that line here. You see that line that you see here? You know, where it feels like this is socketing to the body. All right, that point, that's where I'll use my hand to trace it, just like what you're going to see me do on Zoom now. What I'm going to do is, hold on, my sister is coming back. So from here, I'm going to use my hand actually now to Chere Obiko. I will use my hand now to note this one. Let me go to her back so that you guys will actually. But I hope I will not end up covering the whole thing. Can you people see? See. So I will use my hand to get this like so. Okay. So when I trace it from there, I will now know what my back this thing is. And for Zina, I have 14 inches. I traced it. See. So that you guys can see, okay, you will trace that distance like I told you guys. By the time you have traced it, then what I had for Zina is 14 inches. So that's how you're going to get your shoulder measurement. Now if you're making an off shoulder, then it's important for you to take this measurement. But if it's not an off shoulder, you are good to go. So it's important for you to take this measurement here, round this way. For Zina, I have 39 inches, sorry, 39 inches. So the next measurement, your hip line. Let me use this part. So I'm going to from this through waist, from the through waistline. Let's say you are making a skirt now. Do you understand? If you're making a skirt now, so from this through waistline, which is where the navel point is, this is actually very easy. You can tell your client to help you point out where their navel is. So from that point, I'm going to be measuring to the most protruding part of Zina's hip. The most protruding part. And for Zina, I have 8.5. My own is usually 8 inches. For some persons, you can even get 9. So from that point, where the true waistline is, to the most protruding part, that is where your hip line, okay? That's where the hip line is. Now, if you measure this, after you measure this, I don't know if you guys understand. Let me go again. I said from the navel point, that's the true waistline. From that point, you're going to be measuring to the largest, the most protruding part along this hip area. Her own most protruding part is 8.5. Do you see? The most protruding part. So that's where your hip line measurement is. Maybe in case you're making a skirt or a gown, anything like that. So you measure that. This is also very necessary. Next, another measurement to be the measurement of your bust span. The bust span is the measurement from one nipple to the other nipple. So from one nipple to the other nipple. For Zina, we have 7 inches. Like I said, guys, you don't have to start pressing your client's breast. They will slap you. All you need to do is just visualize it. Imagine it. We are very creative. We are creative in nature. Imagine their body structure in your head and just place your tape. You can also ask them to show you. Yes, some clients are so nice. You can ask them to please point out where their nipple is and they will just point it here and there. But don't do it yourself. You go receive slap. So from this point of the nipple to the other point of the nipple, that's your bust span. And it can also be called nipple to nipple measurement. All right. So next, I'm going to be showing you guys how to measure for your sleeve. If you want to measure for your sleeve, from that same line where you feel where the circuiting between the shoulder and the arm itself. So from that very point, like you see me doing, I think from that very point, like let me come over to this other sleeve. I think this is a bit more visible. So from that point, I'm going to measure all the way and ask your client. That's why I came to this hand. Ask your client to tilt their arm like this. Please let it not be straight this way. If it's straight this way, what will happen is that by the time you are done sewing, you realize sometimes you probably would have measured somebody. Maybe the person is keeping their arm like this. You measure them up to this wrist point, and by the time you now finish sewing it, you realize that this person's thing has jumped to this point, and you're wondering why. This is why. So make sure that your client is tilting their hand like this. Let them tilt it so that the elbow push it out a little bit. This helps you get the length of your sleeve accurately. So you see me doing this, like you see me doing. So in cases where you feel it's not so, you can just go all the way, hold down, continue. I don't know if you understand me, until you get to the wrist or whatever length that you prefer. Okay. Now for the circumference, first I'm going to be showing you guys. For the circumference, the largest part of a person's arm is actually 6 inches, and which is from that point also till you measure till 6 inches, largest part. So that 6 inches is called the bicep, and it is the largest part of a person's arm. So you're going to take the measurement there. Zina's own is 9 inches. Now you come to the elbow. still having them tilting it, and then you measure for the elbow. Like I said, make sure that your index finger is always in between the tape and the human body. This helps you get a measurement that will not cling so much to the client and almost want to suffocate them. It will just help you get a perfect fit. So just like I've done here, you measure this one. Next, there's another measurement. You come to the, like, you can just measure maybe like 2 to 3 inches. 3 inches is usually fine for the 3/4 measurement, and you just measure at that point. Okay, now coming to your wrist. Now Zina cannot be able to do this because she's not a human being, but what you're going to ask your client to do, this is their arm, right? This thumb, as in the thumb on this part of the finger, the thumb. So let them push it forward this way. So once they're done doing that, you just measure this way. You're going to be measuring them here. You're not measuring wrist here. If I measure my wrist here, look guys, if I measure my wrist here, I have something like 6 inches or 6.5. But the truth is that by the time I finish sewing and I'm trying to wear this clothes or pull it, it cannot pass through. It can't pass through because this place is actually bigger than here. So this is what you're going to measure. So when you put your hands over like this, I hope you can see me clearly. So when you put your hands over like this, then you measure that point. The point where you have this knuckle coming out, that's what you measure. And for me, it's 8 inches. Once you have this, it's easier for you to, you know, take your clothes out and also wear them. So this is how to measure for your wrist. So next I'm going to be showing you guys now is how to take the measurement of your armhole. Zina can also do it, but if you want to take the measurement for your armhole, first ask your client to akimbo their arms. See what I'm doing? This is why I said make sure that the person is not wearing a big cloth like what I'm wearing. Let them wear bodycon wear. Is actually most preferable. Or maybe you know all those like bodycon now, whether it's polo, trousers, let it just be on the body, not free. So ask your client to akimbo their arm like I've done. So next thing you're going to do, you're going to be putting the tape over. All right. I'm supposed to need a person to do. I'm supposed to have someone to do this for me, or maybe do it on somebody. But I think I might need to do this by myself. So please make sure you are following. So make sure that first of all, as their arm is akimboed, you first of all get it firm, not in a way that it is uncomfortable for them. Okay, you get it firm. At this point, you don't need to ask the client anything, just get it firm. After you have gotten it firm, add like 2 inches to it, and that is your armhole measurement. Now, one other thing that's very important when you're taking your client's measurement, please, client measurement is something that should be interactive. Make sure you're interacting with your client. Ask them questions. Is this too tight? You measure their waist. You're like, maybe if you want to measure their waist, yes, we know that the waist is on the navel, but you still need to be sure that your client likes to pull or put the lower part of their garment on their navel. It's not everybody that likes that. Some people like it higher, some want it lower. So make sure you're asking them where they want you to place your tape and take this measurement. And also measure, you ask question, is it too tight, is it too loose, should I release it a little bit? Not everybody likes that kind of clothes that you make and you are like this. No, some people like to wear dresses and they are free. So this is why it's very important that as you're taking your client's measurement, you are asking them questions. Be interactive about it. All right, just be interactive about it and be asking them questions. You measure their arm, is it too tight? You measure maybe around the bust area, you're asking them questions. Is it too tight? Is it loose? Is it firm? You know, those questions help a lot. It helps you get the measurements accurately. So I don't think there's any other thing left. So with that, guys, we've actually come to the end of this tutorial on how to take accurate body measurements. If you follow what I just taught you now, you're going to be taking your measurements super. And remember that taking the accurate measurement is actually the first step to being able to make or construct a well-fitting garment. Without accurate body measurement, anything you like, if you take the measurements wrongly, anything you like, so anything you like, that you have already started messing the whole clothes up from the very beginning. So guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I do hope that you stick by, and also, so if you've not subscribed to my channel, please see that bell, that red bell there. Yes, hit on it and subscribe to my channel. And also hit notification bell also, so that you're going to be notified every time that I upload a new video. YouTube is going to notify you guys. So with that, I've come to the end of the tutorial, and I want to say thank you so much. If you have been sticking by, you're already a subscriber, thank you so much. And if you're joining us for the first time, you are so welcome to the family. Please do encourage me by liking my videos, sharing them. You can share the links to your friends and family, you know, people that are interested in this, so that they can join this family. This helps and encourages me to do more. Also, in the comment section, you can actually tell me what you feel like about my videos, whether they are helpful or not. And also you can also tell me some of the topics that you might want me to handle, and I'll do my very best to see how I can attend to some or maybe all of them. So thank you so much guys for watching. Bye, and see you next time in our next video. Yeah.